Today we're having a look at this frame. I don't really know what frame it is, but I got it on Facebook Marketplace and the guy that sold it had no idea what it was. He really wanted to get rid of it and I ended up having it. And now I have to take care of it. As you can see, it has those really specific dropouts, which I don't know anything about. So if anyone knows about those, please let me know. I feel like there's normally this should be a wheel guide. I've seen some that don't have this tiny bit, but I feel like you can use your wheel here so it's doesn't slide, or you can use it with adjustment. I'm really unsure what this is. There's also those really nice lugs, or how the seat stay connect to the top. Even the seat clamp thing is really beautiful. It's quite thin tubing also. Yeah, you have nice reinforcing plate for the brake bridge. You also have nice lug on the bottom and even greasing port on the bottom bracket. Nice pump pegs, internal routing here, specific headsets which I've already serviced. Yeah, look here, there's no lugs here, but then you have lugs on the bottom. Also has a beautiful fork crown, and those are the fork dropouts. No marking, nothing on that frame. So yeah, a very mysterious frame, but very beautiful frame. So I'm gonna build it up as a classic vintage town bike. Yeah, let's see what we can do with that one. And one of the first things we're gonna do is rethread the bottom brackets. The threads are a bit damaged. And for this, we're gonna use the Park Tool BTS1. So let me install the cup. So I'm gonna start with a right-hand cup. You get those very nice taps. That's why this tool is so expensive, because this needs to be really well machined. It's going well on that side. Okay, I'm just gonna fit the left side. And I'm just using some cutting and tapping fluid just to make sure it stays nice. Okay, let's do that. Yeah, so the drive side is a bit rough. Let's see. You can see now the threads are really nice and clean. And I'm now going to install the bottom bracket, putting a modern bottom bracket for that one. So let's see if it goes in now. Nice. There's a tiny bit of resistance, but it's going in much better than before. Alright, I'm just gonna grease this. I just wanted to test. One thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drill a hole on the bottom bracket so the water can escape. because there's quite a lot of rust inside now. So yeah, just a tiny hole. It's gonna help like drain the bottom brackets if any water gets in it. Okay, so now the bottom bracket is greased. I also drilled the hole for the water to go out. We can install the bottom brackets. Okay, I managed to get it in. What happened is I did cross thread this thing, but I've put the cup in place and it guided it on the right thread, and now it's really nice, really smooth, doesn't move. Yeah, super happy. Gonna do one last like tightening. Yeah, nice and smooth. But now we have another problem, because this frame is obviously a mystery and it's full of problem. Is the dropout distance between the two dropout is 110 millimeter. That is not standard. Single speed and fixed gear is going to be 120. Most vintage bike is 126. Modern is 130, 135 anyway. So I did find a few hubs that were 110, very obscure, like Sturmy Archie and things like that. But what I'm going to try is to expand those a bit more, at least to 126, so I can fit a modern wheel. So I'll show you how I do it. And yeah, let's do it. So in order to do this, it's very simple. All you need is like a threaded rod, a few washers and nuts, and basically what we're gonna do is fit that inside, and we're gonna like extend the stay that way, so the frame gets a bit larger. It's steel, so you can do that on steel. Never ever do that on aluminium or carbon. I mean, that would be extremely stupid. But on steel you can do it. Done it a few times. It works fairly well. There's a fair amount of flex in the frame. But obviously do this at your own risk. So that's it. I'm just gonna. And what you want to do is go, a bit further than the measurement you want to be. So if you want to go 126, I might just go to 135 or something like that. So it, expand the frame a bit more, because it's going to flex back. You want to check a few times to see if you're like in the right direction. So at the moment I'm 120. So I am going to go all the way to 130 probably, yeah. This takes quite a while, because you're gonna have to go past the number and then come back and see how much the frame flexed, and just repeat the process a few times. And at the end you also need to check the frame alignment to make sure the frame didn't open more toward the right or the left, and correct any of those things. I am at 130, so what I'm going to do now is unscrew this, and let's see where we are. So let's see if this works at all. So now we are sitting at 112. So as you can see, a long process. It's going to take a lot of different try to get it to at least 126 if it's possible. So yeah, I'm gonna do that off camera because it's gonna be extremely boring for you, and I'll come back when I succeeded. So after a few tries, this doesn't work. I think this frame is very rigid because there is 3 tubes. It's easier to do on a road frame when you only have the chainstay and the seat stay, but here you also have those long stay. So I've done it, it works. As you can see now, I can fit a normal rear wheel, which is spaced for 126. See, fits well. So I'm going to be able to add some gears here. Very happy. And yeah, so the way I've done it is by using this tool. It's a Park Tool Tube Straightener FFS2. So you have basically, I'm going to show you how to use it. So basically you're going to like put it on the frame, use this hook here and use a long arm for leverage, and you can pull the frame apart, like you can pull the tubes apart. So I've done this very slowly and carefully, and yeah, now the dropouts are spaced properly. And the next step, I'm gonna align the 2 dropouts to make sure they're aligned, check the frame alignment. But yeah, that's promising. And now I'm gonna install the crankset. So for the crankset, I'm going for Strong Light 49D, which I retapped the pedal. They were French standards and now it's British standards, so can accept any pedal. On those cranksets, you have a different diameter in the threads here, so you can't use a standard one. As you can see here, you have to use a custom, or I mean this one is custom made by, I forgot who made those, from Germany, but you see this one fits. It's very annoying, but so far only happen on those old French bikes. But you'll see this bike is full of surprise. It's a lot of French components, so I'm building it as I go, but might run into more problem. We'll see. Nice. And the other side. Same problem as with those cranksets, as it's a different diameter inside the cranks. You cannot put any, I mean you can, but you need specific crankset caps if you want to fit them on. That's why I'm putting those more modern ones that have the cap that is embedded with the screw. Nice. As you can see, this bottom bracket also have an oil port. Since I have a seal cartridge, I don't need that, but I might try to find a screw to fit here to close it. I found a screw that just fit perfectly, so now this is protected for the rain. And I'm now going to fit the brakes. The brakes are full steel and the brand is Star. I think those are made in Taiwan. They're not super fancy, but that's all I have at the moment. They're cleaned up really nicely and they're really rigid because they're still construction. So I think that would be fine on that bike. Would have been nice to have some Mafax center brakes or something like that, but I don't have any of those at the moment, so I'm just going to fit that and it's going to do the job just fine. And for the rear brake, actually has an interesting feature, that frame. As you can see, there's an indent here, which I suppose is to accept normally the spring of the brake. So you could run that without a specific axle, which is quite neat. I'm not going to use that feature because the brake came, you know, with the retainer for the spring. But I've never seen that on a frame before, so another quirky thing on that frame. You could see that that frame is well built and well thought through. For the front derailleur, I am just going with a simple ferret derailleur. You know, I initially wanted to put like triple, but I settled on a double, so that will do the job. And for the rear, well, those dropouts, I've never seen that before, so I'm gonna fit like one with a clamp like that, but as you can see, I can't fit the wheel, so I'm gonna have to fit that and the wheel together. So I'm gonna fit this first, then the wheel, and then the wheel is gonna take the clamp at the same time. Like this. It's gonna be a bit of a pain if you want to change your tires, but I think that's the only way I could do this. Maybe that frame was designed, I mean, it's highly possible it was designed for internal hub, because the 120 spacing it had is normally made for this kind of frame. Nice. And the derailleur. Ooh. Fuck. It's exactly the kind of problem you can't anticipate, but this long thing might actually interfere with the derailleur. So I'm gonna see how it goes. If it does, what I will do is find a way to restrict the movement of the derailleur so it never goes past this. That is very annoying. Or I could get a long, very long derailleur hanger. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see when we put the chain on what happened. I'm now going to install the chain. So that above. Here. Yep, I can already see this is not gonna work. As you can see, this is going in. Oh god, this is so annoying. Yeah, I'm gonna have to find a solution. So after fiddling around, there is one derailleur that can fit. This is my least favorite derailleur of all time. I think it's ugly as hell. It's a Shimano Tourney. It's new or in really good condition. Really not what I want to put on that bike, but sadly, I think that's the only way I can have gears on that bike. So I'm gonna install that, see how it goes. But yeah, it's a bit of a bummer, but that frame is a whole mystery anyway, and I can't fit anything. So yeah, I think I'll run with that. At least this derailleur is finally going to be used. I think it's been sitting in my spare part bin for a very, very long time. So yeah, that's the update. So update with that one. With this derailleur, it seems to work. When I go on the bigger ring, it's very close here. So what I'll do is design a part that basically put that slightly lower so it never interfere with that. This is a proper bodge hack, but I spent so much time trying to like clean the part, finding the right parts on that bike, so I just want it to work. Worst case, I would revert to a single speed, but then I need to change the crankset. I mean, it's gonna be geared for now. We're gonna make it work. That's why I'm making a video about it. So stay with me. we're gonna sort that out. Okay, I'm taking a break from the derailleur situation. Sometimes that's what you need. I'm just gonna install the front wheel. Okay. Nice. So at least it looks like a bike now. And now I'm gonna install the stem. So before I install the stem, this is a French bike with a French fork, and the diameter inside here is 22 millimeters. Normal stem are 22.2 millimeter. Those 0.2 millimeters are in like the tolerance are so tight here, like 22.2 millimeter won't fit here. So I had two options: either buy a French stem, but the problem is French stem also have a different clamp diameter, so I couldn't put a regular handlebar. I believe, yeah, French are like 25, and most of the parts are going to be 25.4. So what I've done is, thanks to one of my friends, which I'll link the detail below, he helped me machine this. I'll probably put the footage on the video too so you can see. So he helped me machine this to reduce the diameter from 22.2 to 22. So now I can use a normal handlebar with a French stem, well, French standard, and now it fits. So I'm very happy with that. Again, another compromise for a bike that is full of problem. So before I install that, let me just put some grease on here. Always, always, always grease seat post and stem, because they can corrode inside and bond with the frame, and that's a real pain to deal with. So I recommend anyone do this. So I'm gonna line it up, and as you can see, I went for very nice relaxed handlebar, which is gonna make yeah, a very comfy bike. Okay, starting to look pretty nice, except for that horrible derailleur on the back, but nothing we can do about it for now. Alright, seat post. Same as for the stem. Grease. Nice. Okay, that's good. I'm going to install the brakes. I went for Diacomp. I forgot which model it is, but yeah, DC 131. Simple brakes, but they look good. So yeah, I'm going to install that. Before I install that, actually, I am gonna install the shifters, and for the shifters I'm going for those are simplex shifters. They're quite rare. I think they were for a mountain bike. They did a mountain bike like group set simplex, and those were like the shifters that came with it. They are okay. They have a ratchet mechanism inside, which is plastic. The spring was broken on those when I fixed it. I actually have the 3D printed part for this available for free on my printable profile if you want it. But yeah, they are, yeah, they're nice. They're nice looking. They had like an ugly gray paint on it, which I removed and I polished the levers. So they're gonna go on this one shifter. Okay. Go like that. I'm going to install the grip at the end because the grips always get dirty, so I always put them at the end. I'm just going to install that roughly for now. And the other side, I'm going to also put a bell, just simple bell. So it's going to be bell, shifter, and brake lever. Bell is going to be annoying because of the shifters. I am going to put the bell somewhere else. So this frame doesn't have any cable guides, so I had to install a few cable guide here. You can see that one is a G-Tech, and it allows the two gears from the shifter to run all the way here, get stopped here. Cable will run down all the way here. Down here we have this cable guide here that is bolted onto the bottom bracket shell. This is 3D printed, by the way. And on the back we have another cable stopper for the rear derailleur. So cable will run all the way here. It's actually installed upside down. Yeah, the wrong way around. So I'm gonna fix that. But yeah, that's one of the quirks when you get a frame that is unknown. Sometimes you have to think about those cable guides. Usually that's the last thing I do, and sometimes you forget all the parts, and then you end up like stuck because you don't have any of those cable guides. Small parts, very important. So we're gonna start with the rear shifter. And I'm gonna use some brake housing for that because it is not indexed, so it doesn't matter as much. Normally you should put some special housing. It is brake housing, but as you can see, I don't know, yeah, it's not the coil one, so it's kind of compressionless brake housing, so that should be fine with shifting. It's not indexed, so it's not as crucial, but I have one here running like that. And then here is down the bottom bracket one. So far it's working on the smaller ring at the front, and we'll have to test how it interferes with this when I'm on the big ring. So it's working, but we're hitting two major problems. First one is at the front here, and I'm going to show you. As you can see, the gap between the derailleur and the crankset arm is really small, but the chain still touches the plate of the derailleur, so it's making noise. You can hear. But if I adjust the plate further, it's going to interfere with this arm. So that's one problem to solve. And problem number two, which I expected, is when you're on the big ring at the front, the derailleur interfere with this thing. This is interfering with the front mech. So So this is the second mech I'm testing. It's a Campagnolo, but it's not working. So I'm gonna have to keep testing until I find a mech that works with this setup. And I found the right candidate. This derailleur has really thin plates, so it doesn't interfere with the arm, and it doesn't touch the chain either. The noise you hear is just a chain on the chain ring. I had to put it slightly higher than normal, but it works fine. So yeah, that's one problem solved. I'm going to install the pedals. Lyotard pedal, classic French pedal. Sadly, you can't service them even if you remove the cap, but those ones are in really good condition and they will look really good with the rest of the bike. Those ones are English, threaded. This crankset was initially French, but I did at one point reverted, like re-threaded to be English. So easy, I can put any pedal on it. Nice. So internal cable routing can be a bit of a pain sometime. So I managed to get it out from that hole because it's kinking slightly outward here. So I got it out. Now I can put the housing in. Oh, it's tight. Oh, the housing. It's too tight. Doesn't want to go in. Oh god. Really? Okay, I might need to find a housing that is slightly thinner in diameter, which is a shame. Let me try with regular housing. Nope. Alright, I'm gonna have to find a housing, so I'll be back when I found this. So sadly, no cable would fit. No housing is small enough to fit here, which is weird because this is clearly for the brake cable, so I'm unsure unless this was for gears. I don't know, this frame, full of mystery. But I know I'm gonna have to use my drill. I'm just gonna make the hole a tiny bit bigger and hopefully that would do. Oh shit. Oh. Sometimes I fucking hate this. Oh shit. Okay. No. Now I have a drill bit stuck inside the frame. Oh, it's gonna be impossible to get it out. Oh, so annoying. Extremely annoying. Well, I think this frame is gonna have to live with a drill bit stuck inside. Hopefully now, yeah, this fits in. Yeah, well, that's exactly why I'm doing this video, is to show you how painful sometimes it can be. Bought this frame, it's a curse. It's been nightmare after nightmare, nothing fits, but we're gonna get to the bottom of it. Okay, this should work now. Yeah, so if I start from this end. Okay, and it's in. Oh my god, that was quite painful to do, but it's done. So I can now install the brake cable. And it's working. Okay. Yes, oh my god. I'm so happy this is working. I think I accidentally set up that bike as European with the, yeah, the left brake is front. But that's easy to change. Before I finish this video, I just want to update you on the rear derailleur situation. And I've tested it and it's working. So yeah, I've went for a ride, did shifted a few times on the larger ring on the front and there was no issue. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna leave it as is. So yeah, enjoy the final result.